toe-to-toe with me. You can't even reach the goals I reach. I aim to beat any show I see, and when I'm done, you gon' know about me.
We are Royals.
You ain't never seen a show like me.
Orlando, yeah, we got this. Royals, yeah, let's rip this. No, you won't forget this. Watch us dip and spin this. Ha ha.
I can see the morning creeping upon us. It's like the world's in my hands now. I'm feeling so rebellious from all of the envy crowding around me. I don't wanna
Leave, no, I'm hosting it. My backyard, you know this. Royals, yes, the best around. Orlando, yep, we run this town.
We run this, run this, run this, run this, run this. You don't know where you're from, it's where you're at. And if you can't freak a leak, better bring your hat. East Coast, West Coast, down south, represent your coast. Yeah, we run it, y'all don't want it, cause my coast run it.
Royals run this. Orlando runs this.
What up, Riz?
Oh, watch us flip it, watch us hit it. We do it so sick, you won't forget it. Royals take it to the skies and switch it. So one more thing before we go. If you're loving the Royal Show, get up at your seat, stand up, a round of applause. Everyone put your hands up.
shout a little bit louder. Put your hands up, can't keep yourself from jumping around. It ain't gon' bother me if you gotta get yourself out. That type of feeling, do something about it. Put your hands up, put your hands up.
We party rock, party hard. Royals know we don't stop. North to the south, east to the west. Orlando, we serve it best.
From Hollywood to Jersey, we start the party early. We're always dressing fresh to death.